Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is CS Harshdeep Singh Narula, and today we will discuss about a very important topic, that is what to choose between private limited company or a limited liability partnership. So whenever someone is trying to create a new business, they have few options in mind. The first thing is sole proprietorship. However, sole proprietorship cannot be expanded at that level. So now they are left with 3 to 4 options. Number one is a private limited company. Second is a one person company. Similar like sole proprietorship, you cannot even expand the one person company as well, because as the name suggests, it is run by a single person, a single member. However, in a one person company, there could be multiple directors. So we'll take it out. Now we have first option is a private limited company, second is LLP, and third option is a public company. So now why we should not go for the public company? Because the public company demands extra compliances and they are costly as well. The more the compliances, the costlier it will get. Also, you do not need a public limited company, because if you are doing a business on a small scale, on a closely held group, and you just want closely held people, the people you know, and the people who cannot sell the shareholding without putting it into your notice, then you should only go for a private limited company or an LLP. So we'll discuss about both today, and what about the cost as well. So now we will begin with the cost of incorporation. So when we are discussing about a private limited company and LLP, so the stamp duty varies state-wise. So we'll take an example of Delhi here. For example, you are incorporating a private limited company or a LLP, let's say with a with a capital of 1 lakh rupees. So I'll tell you the cost. The stamp duty in Delhi for this thing, private limited company, is rupees 360. The name reservation cost for New Delhi is 1000. The name reservation cost all over the India for a private limited company is 1000 rupees only. So we do not have to consider that again. Also, the name reservation form is not required if your name is unique. So we'll just stick to 360 rupees. So then there is a DSC cost that is similar in both of the applications, in both of the things, like in LLP also, in private limited also. Then we come to the other parts, like in LLP we are discussing about Philip form, that is incorporation form. Then we are discussing about agreement, LLP agreement, that has to be printed on a stamp paper of 1000 rupees or above, as the case may be, as the capital may be. So we are taking here 1000 rupees. So when we are talking about the costage, the professional and government, both are equally similar only. There is only a difference of 5 or 10% if we combine both professional and government cost. However, incorporating a private limited company is much easier than incorporating an LLP, because of the hassle, because of the criteria, because of the nature of agreement, because of the multiple steps. In private limited company, you just incorporate it within a single shot. You just have to upload those 5 forms and you will get your private limited company PAN, TAN, COI, MOA, AOA, and you will also get the confirmation with the bank account opening. However, in LLP it's different. Earlier in LLP, PAN, TAN did not used to come with the incorporation application, but however now it comes. So after incorporating an LLP, you have to file a separate form 3 in which you have to upload the agreement. So this includes 2 steps, and private limited includes only 1 step. So now we'll discuss about who's the governing body of a private limited company and who's the governing body of an LLP. A private limited company is governed by Companies Act 2013. LLP is governed by LLP's Partnership Act, Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. Now we'll come to the costing part in case of audit. Audit in a private limited company is compulsory. If you are not doing the business, even if you have a negative balance sheet, or if you have never started a business, or you have just 2 entries or 5 entries or 10 entries, the least number of entries, still you have to get it audited. Now the cost of audit depends upon your auditor. How are you going to strike a deal with the auditor? You know the auditor or not. They might charge 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. Even they might not charge anything if you know the auditor. So the cost totally varies from auditor to auditor. Now the auditing is necessary in LLP only if the turnover exceeds rupees 40 lakhs or the contribution of capital exceeds rupees 25 lakh in a financial year. We'll move to the next step, that is maximum numbers. In a private limited company, the maximum numbers of members could only be 200, that is 200. In an LLP, the maximum number of members can be unlimited. Minimum capital. Earlier there was a criteria of minimum capital in case of private limited companies. However, there is no minimum capital criteria in both private limited companies and LLPs right now. Right now, even if you want to start the private limited company with let's say with a capital of 1,000 rupees, then you can start. Even in the case of LLP, if you want to start with a capital of 1,000 rupees, you can start. However, taking the note of banking structure and taking the note that how the banking system works, I would suggest to go for minimum 1 lakh rupees so that you do not get extra charges charged by the bank for not maintaining the accounts, a minimum account balance. So we'll move forward. What is the name format? In a private limited company, you use it like ABC private limited company. In LLP, you use it like ABC LLP. Now we'll talk about flexibility. Which is more flexible? So you guessed it right, a private limited company is by far most flexible when we are comparing it with LLP. I'll tell you why. For example, you want to include somebody in your private limited company. You can either issue fresh shares, you can either sell your shares, and it will be involved in register of members. However, in case of LLP, if you want to include a partner or if you want to remove a partner, then the whole agreement has to be revised again and the agreement has to be uploaded with the MCA again for its approval. So this is the thing, it makes it very tough, it makes it very hectic to make these changes. Now we'll talk about the compliance part. When we are talking about LLP and we are talking about private limited company, there are few more compliances that you have to follow in a private limited company. I'll tell you what. In LLP, there are like 2 annual forms. One is Form 11 and second is Form 8. And the government fees of these forms is 50 rupees each. In case of a private limited company, there are 2 annual return forms. One is MGT 7 and second is AOC 4. And the government fees starts from rupees 300 and it goes to the 1200 rupees. Now we will say that in LLP and both private limited company, the director KYC has to be done annually. So that is a case like DPIN. In LLP it has DPIN and in private limited companies it has a DIN. So we'll take this scenario as well out. Even though in both of the companies, in both of the LLP and private limited company, 2 annual return forms are filed. So now what's extra in the private limited company that is not in the LLP? We'll discuss about that. In a private limited company, ITR will go for the both. However, in private limited company, there is one extra provision, that is first is audit. Second is a form like DPT3, a deposits form. If the company is involved in direct or indirect taking of deposits, then the DPT3 form will go. Other than this, there are no extra compliances in case of private limited company. So we'll just consider that audit is an extra compliance, because in both LLP and private limited company, the annual filing are to be done. Both 2 forms have to go. In LLP Form 8, Form 11, and in private limited company AOC 4 and MGT 7. Both have to do directors KYC and audit has to be done in both. However, in case of LLP, it's not compulsory if it's meeting the 40 and 25 lakh criteria. However, in case of private limited company, even the balance sheet is nil, then even that also you have to get it audited. So conclusion. What is the conclusion? That this is why we are here. This is what we are here for. The conclusion. By any day, by any day, I would choose only a private limited company to incorporate it, because it's very fancy and it's very attractive if we are talking about funding nature. The investors who want to fund in your company prefer the private limited company over LLP, because they think it's easy, because we just discussed it, the flexibility of a private limited company is much more than an LLP. Also, if you, even if as a founder you just want to sell your share, increase your share, include a partner, include a member is going out, directors are coming, directors are going, private limited company is very comfortable. The only extra thing is, the only extra cost which makes it look bad is like the cost of audit. You just have to get it audited every year, and that is, I think you should get it done, so that your audit is very helpful to you as well. Your accounts will be managed every year on its own with the help of auditor, because you are not going to manage. Most of the 99% of the cases, private limited companies do not manage the accounts. So that's it, and I would always prefer a private limited company. If you think that you are going to make changes in it on a regular basis or in the near future, I would prefer LLP if I know that this will be like this in upcoming 5 years, 10 years. The LLP will be LLP. We, the 3 partners or 2 partners, will be same as like this. There will be no disputes. There will be no major changes in it. So the LLP in that case. Otherwise, a private limited company. Thank you very much. That's all. If you have any questions regarding LLP or a private limited company or a society, trust, Section 8 company, a public company, NBFC, then please feel free to comment. Thank you very much.